Do you know why most people stay stuck in financial struggle their entire lives, while certain families seem to generate wealth effortlessly for generations? I'm going to share something with you today that could change everything. There are 3 specific numbers that Jewish mystics have used for thousands of years to activate the flow of abundance. And when you write these numbers on your wallet in the exact way I'm about to show you, something remarkable begins to happen within 24 hours. I've spent over 40 years studying the ancient texts of the Talmud and Kabbalah. My grandfather was a rabbi in Jerusalem, and his grandfather before him carried this wisdom through some of the darkest periods in European history. 7 generations of my family have passed down these secrets, and what I'm about to reveal isn't something you'll find in any book or any mainstream teaching. This is practical mystical knowledge that actually works. Now here's what's interesting. Just this week, I was reading about how the global economy is shifting again. Banks are tightening their policies. People everywhere are feeling the squeeze. Inflation is eating away at savings. And yet there are those who seem completely untouched by these conditions. They attract opportunities while others struggle. They find money in unexpected places while others watch their account shrink. This isn't coincidence. This is the activation of ancient spiritual laws that most people have never heard of. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which 3 numbers to write, where to place them on your wallet, and the specific Hebrew blessing that seals the ritual. The secret I'll share in the final steps is so powerful that I hesitated for years before teaching it publicly. But the times we're living in demand that this wisdom be released. Let me take you back to when I first learned about the power of sacred numbers. I was 17 years old, studying in my grandfather's small apartment in the old city. It was a Thursday evening just before Shabbat. My grandfather called me over to his worn wooden desk and pulled out an old leather wallet that had belonged to his own grandfather. He looked at me with those piercing eyes that seemed to see right through everything, and he said something I'll never forget. He said the physical world is just a shadow of the spiritual world. When you know how to write the language of the spirit onto physical objects, you gain the ability to shape your material reality. Then he showed me inside that ancient wallet were 3 numbers written in a very specific way. He explained that these weren't just any numbers. These were what the Kabbalists call channels of divine abundance. Each number corresponds to a specific spiritual frequency that when combined creates what the mystics called a portal of prosperity. I didn't fully understand it at the time, but I watched my grandfather, despite living through persecution, despite losing everything multiple times, despite arriving in Jerusalem with nothing but the clothes on his back, he never lacked. Money always seemed to find him at exactly the right moment. Opportunities appeared out of nowhere, and that old wallet with those 3 numbers was always with him. The first time I applied this knowledge myself, I was 23 years old. I had just gotten married, and we had almost nothing. I remember lying awake at night worrying about how I would provide for my new family. Traditional jobs weren't working out. Every door seemed closed. Then I remembered what my grandfather taught me. I took a new wallet, nothing fancy, just a simple leather wallet, and I wrote those 3 numbers exactly as he had shown me. I spoke the Hebrew blessing he had taught me, and I placed a small amount of money inside as what the Talmud calls seed money for abundance. Within 48 hours, I received a phone call from someone I hadn't spoken to in years. He had a business opportunity that seemed to come out of nowhere. Within a week, I had more money than I had seen in months. Within a month, my entire financial situation had transformed. That's when I knew this wasn't superstition. This was real spiritual technology that our ancestors discovered and preserved for us. If you're ready to activate this ancient wisdom, write in the comments right now. I activate my abundance code. I read every comment, and there's something powerful about making that declaration publicly. Do it now before we continue. I know exactly what you're going through. You work hard, probably harder than most people around you. You've tried to do everything right. You've saved when you could. You've looked for opportunities. Maybe you've even tried positive thinking or visualization or all those modern techniques they teach in self-help books. But no matter what you do, the money seems to slip through your fingers. Bills pile up faster than income comes in. Every time you think you're getting ahead, something happens to knock you back down. An unexpected expense, a lost opportunity, a deal that falls through at the last moment. I've sat with thousands of people over my decades as a teacher, and I hear the same story over and over. They tell me, "Rabbi, I don't understand what's wrong with me. I work so hard, but nothing changes. I feel like there's an invisible barrier between me and prosperity. And here's what breaks my heart. Most of the advice they've received is completely useless. People tell them to budget better, to work more hours, to think positive thoughts, to manifest their desires, but none of it addresses the root cause. The Talmud teaches that every physical reality has a spiritual root. If you try to change the physical without addressing the spiritual, you're fighting against the current of the universe itself. You might make temporary progress, but you'll always get pulled back. This is why someone can win the lottery and lose everything within a few years. This is why some people work 16-hour days and never get ahead, while others seem to attract wealth effortlessly. The difference isn't intelligence or effort or luck. The difference is spiritual alignment. You've been told that money is purely a physical matter, that wealth is just about earning, spending, and saving, that the universe is random and indifferent. That's a lie, and it's a lie that keeps millions of people trapped in unnecessary struggle. The Jewish people understood something different. For over 3,000 years, through every exile, through every persecution, through every attempt to destroy us, we've maintained and often thrived economically. This isn't because of some genetic advantage, it's because we preserved ancient knowledge about how wealth actually works at the spiritual level. The Talmud says that sustenance is as difficult as the splitting of the Red Sea. What this means is that the same divine power that split the sea to save our ancestors is the same power needed to open the channels of abundance in your life. You can't do it through effort alone. You need to engage spiritual forces. Here's the universal truth. Numbers are not just symbols for counting. In the Kabbalistic tradition, numbers are living energies. Each number carries a specific vibration, a specific frequency that connects to different aspects of divine flow. When you understand which numbers activate abundance and you write them in the correct way with the correct intention, you literally create a magnet for prosperity in the physical world. The ancient rabbis knew this. They encoded this knowledge into practices that have been passed down through generations. And today I'm going to share the core of this wisdom with you. Now I'm going to reveal the exact method. This comes directly from Kabbalistic teachings that trace back over 2,000 years. It's been used by Jewish mystics and passed down through rabbitic families for generations. And it works. But before I show you the numbers and the steps you need to understand something critical, this is not a game. This is not something you do casually while watching television or thinking about other things. When you write sacred numbers with proper intention, you are engaging real spiritual forces. Real energy begins to move, and you will see real results as long as you follow every step exactly as I teach it. The reason this specific method works is because it combines three principles that the ancient rabbis discovered. First is the principle of inscription. When you physically write something, you transfer spiritual energy into physical form. This is why Torah scrolls must be handwritten. The act of writing creates a bridge between worlds. Second is the principle of containment. Your wallet is a vessel. In Kabbalah, we understand that vessels attract and hold the specific energies they are prepared to receive. When you prepare your wallet with the right numbers, you're essentially programming it to attract and hold wealth. Third is the principle of activation. The Hebrew blessing I'll teach you activates the numbers and seals the intention. Without this activation step, the numbers are just ink on leather. With it, they become living channels. What makes this different from anything else you've tried is that it works at the causal level, not the effect level. Most money techniques try to manipulate effects. They try to change your behavior or your thoughts or your actions in the physical world. But this method changes the cause. It opens the spiritual channels that then manifest as physical abundance. The Talmud teaches that the blessing of abundance rests only on something that is hidden from the eye. This is why we place the numbers inside the wallet, not on the outside. This principle of concealment is essential to how this works. Here's what you need for this ritual. You need a wallet. It doesn't have to be expensive or new, but it must be clean and in good condition. A torn or damaged wallet cannot properly hold abundance. If your current wallet is falling apart, get a new one before you do this ritual. The wallet represents your vessel of prosperity, and the vessel must be worthy of what you want to receive. You need a pen with black ink. Black is important. In Kabbalah, black represents the hidden essence, the potential that contains all possibilities. Blue or red or other colors won't work for this specific practice. Make sure the pen writes smoothly without skipping. You need 3 pieces of small paper, or you can write directly on the inside lining of your wallet if it's leather or fabric. The paper should be clean and white. Unlined paper is best. Cut it small enough to fit hidden inside your wallet where it won't be seen when you open it. You need a coin or bill of any denomination. This is the seed money I mentioned earlier. The Talmud teaches that blessing doesn't rest on emptiness. There must be something already present for abundance to multiply. Even a single coin is sufficient, and you need to do this at the right time. The ideal time is in the morning before sunrise. The period just before dawn is what the mystics call the time of favor. The channels between the spiritual and physical worlds are most open during these moments. If you cannot do it before sunrise, early morning right after waking is the next best option. Now let me tell you the 3 numbers and what each one means. The first number is 18. In Hebrew, every letter has a numerical value. The letters that spell chai, which means life, add up to 18. This is why Jews traditionally give gifts in multiples of 18. But beyond the meaning of life, 18 represents the flow of vital energy into the physical world. When you write 18, you're invoking life force into your finances. You're declaring that your money is alive and growing, not stagnant and dead. Write the number 18 on your first piece of paper or in the first hidden spot of your wallet. The second number is 26. This is the numerical value of the 4-letter name of God, the most sacred name in Hebrew tradition. This number connects your wallet directly to the source of all abundance. The Talmud teaches that all sustenance flows from the divine. When you write 26, you're creating a direct channel to the ultimate source. You're not just attracting money from physical sources, you're connecting to the infinite wellspring from which all prosperity flows. Write 26 on your second piece of paper or in the second hidden spot. The third number is 72. This corresponds to the 72 names of God revealed in the Kabbalah. These 72 names are essentially 72 different frequencies of divine energy. The number 72 itself carries the combined power of all these frequencies. It represents completion, totality, and the full spectrum of divine blessing. When you write 72, you're activating all possible channels of abundance, not just 1 or 2. Write 72 on your third piece of paper or in the third hidden spot. Now here are the exact steps to perform this ritual. Step 1. Wake before sunrise or early in the morning. Before you do anything else, before you eat or drink, before you check your phone, wash your hands 3 times, alternating right and left. This is a purification practice that clears residual energies from sleep and prepares you to work with spiritual forces. Step 2. Sit in a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, release any worry or anxiety you're carrying about money. Let it go. You cannot attract abundance from a place of fear. As you breathe, feel yourself becoming calm and centered and open. Step 3. Take your pen and your first piece of paper. Before you write anything, hold the pen in your right hand and say these words either out loud or in your heart. Blessed are you who has sanctified the letters and the numbers for the benefit of your creation. Now write the number 18 slowly and intentionally. As you form each stroke, visualize golden light flowing from your hand into the ink. See the number glowing with life energy. Step 4. Take your second piece of paper. Say the same blessing. Now write the number 26. As you write this number, feel the presence of the divine. Understand that you are creating a direct link to the source of all abundance. Visualize a channel of light opening above you, connecting you to infinite supply. Step 5. Take your third piece of paper. Say the blessing again. Write the number 72. As you write, visualize doors opening in every direction. See opportunities multiplying. See money flowing to you from expected and unexpected sources. The number 72 activates all possible channels simultaneously. Step 6. Place the 3 papers inside your wallet in hidden locations. They should not be visible when you open your wallet normally. If you wrote directly on the inside of your wallet, make sure the writing is concealed. Place your seed money, your coin or bill inside the wallet on top of or near the numbers. Step 7. Hold your wallet in both hands close to your heart. Close your eyes and say this declaration. I am a channel of divine abundance. Prosperity flows to me naturally and continuously. All blocks to my wealth are now dissolved. The numbers 18 to 26 and 72 are activated in my life. So it is and so it shall be. Step 8. Keep your wallet on your person every day for the next 7 days without showing anyone what you have done. The Talmud teaching about blessing, resting on what is hidden, is crucial here. If you show people or tell people, you dilute the energy. Silence and secrecy are essential for the first 7 days. Now, let me tell you what to expect. Within the first 24 hours, you might feel something different. Some people describe it as a sense of lightness or optimism that seems to come from nowhere. Others notice that their anxiety about money suddenly decreases. Some experience vivid dreams about wealth or abundance. These are all signs that the energy is activating. Pay attention to them. Within 3 to 7 days, you should start seeing tangible movement. This could be an unexpected check in the mail, a phone call with an opportunity, someone repaying a debt you had forgotten about, an idea that comes to you for making money, a discount or savings on something you needed to buy. The manifestation will match what you need in your specific situation. Within 30 days, the full transformation should be evident. The channel of abundance you have opened will be fully established. Money will flow more easily. Opportunities will appear more frequently. The feeling of financial struggle will be replaced by a sense of security and provision. But there are critical warnings I must give you. Warning number 1. Do not do this ritual with greed or desperation as your motivation. The Talmud teaches that the one who pursues money, money flees from him. If you perform this ritual from a place of grasping energy, you will actually push abundance away. The proper intention is openness and trust, not grasping and demanding. I learned this when I once tried to force results during a particularly difficult period. The ritual backfired completely. More expenses appeared, more problems arose. When I released my desperation and returned to trust, everything shifted. Warning number 2, do not use this for harmful purposes. If your intention is to take money that belongs to others or to acquire wealth through deception, the spiritual forces you invoke will turn against you. The Talmud is clear that what comes through wrongdoing leaves through wrongdoing. I've seen people try to use these techniques with impure intentions. Without exception, it ended badly for them. This is not a threat. This is spiritual law. Warning number 3, do not neglect the physical level. This ritual opens spiritual channels, but you must still take action in the physical world. If you do the ritual and then sit home expecting money to fall from the sky, you will be disappointed. The abundance will flow through natural channels, through work, through opportunities, through people. You must be active and available to receive it. Let me share something deeper with you. The Talmud teaches that a person's sustenance is decreed for them from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. Many people misunderstand this to mean that their income is fixed and they can't change it. But the deeper meaning is that the potential is set, but the manifestation depends on the channels you create. Think of it like water from a reservoir. The amount of water in the reservoir might be determined, but how much water reaches your house depends on the pipes you install. These 3 numbers you've written are like installing new pipes, wider pipes, more efficient pipes to bring abundance into your life. The reservoir is always full. The supply from the divine is infinite. The question is only how much you can receive. In my own life, there was a time when I struggled terribly with this concept. I had the knowledge. I had studied for years, but I wasn't fully applying what I knew. I was teaching these principles to others, but not embodying them myself. The result was that my own finances were inconsistent. The turning point came when I realized I had to stop separating what I taught from how I lived. I committed to practicing these methods with complete consistency and complete faith. Within 3 months, my entire financial situation transformed. Within a year, I had more abundance than I had ever experienced. Over the past 40 years, I've taught this exact method to thousands of people. I've seen a teacher go from barely making ends meet to opening 3 successful tutoring centers in 18 months. I've seen a single mother go from worrying about how to feed her children to owning her own home and building savings. I've seen a business owner on the verge of bankruptcy turn his company around completely and become a philanthropist who now helps others. In every single case, they followed these exact steps. They didn't modify the numbers because they thought they knew better. They didn't skip the blessing because they felt silly. They didn't show everyone what they had done because they wanted attention. They simply trusted the ancient wisdom and followed the instructions. Here's why this matters so much right now. We're living in unprecedented times. The global economy is shifting in ways nobody fully understands. Traditional paths to prosperity are becoming less reliable. People are more anxious about money than ever before. I was reading just yesterday about another wave of layoffs from major companies. I hear about inflation making everything more expensive while wages stay the same. I see people who did everything right, who got the education, who worked the jobs, who saved what they could, and yet they're still struggling. The old ways of doing things aren't working anymore for most people. But these ancient Jewish secrets, they work in any economy. They work regardless of what governments do or what markets do, because they operate at the causal level. They connect you to the source of abundance that exists beyond any temporary economic condition. When everything around you is chaos, these principles are your anchor. When the world tells you there's no hope, these methods prove otherwise. Let me summarize what you've learned today.